from clarkwoods.com. This is Horribly Off Topic, episode number 82. I am Chris.
And I am Steve.
You are Steve. And here we are, the day after Donald Trump won the South Carolina primary.
I don't understand why they do their primary on a Saturday.
I don't understand why they don't do both Republican and Democratic primaries on the same day. Because the Republican primary in South Carolina was yesterday, and the Democratic caucus in Nevada was yesterday.
Which Hillary won.
Hillary won that, yes. But Donald Trump won the South Carolina primary in the same week when he seemingly endorsed shooting Muslims with bullets coated in pig's blood.
So he said those exact words?
As I understand it, and because I did try to look this up, and I'll try to find the link for the show notes. As I understand it, he told this story, possibly not even a real story, possibly just something someone made up at some point about someone doing this as a form of punishment, right? And implied that wasn't a bad idea. That's the gist of my understanding of it.
So what I see happening with Trump is that like the people in his there we go. It was all right.
It was all right.
People that were
I gotta start drinking if you're gonna defend Donald Trump.
I'm not defending Donald Trump,
all
but
right.
what I think the people in his that are running his campaign are probably saying to him, they're just saying, "Hey, the Donald, why don't we just keep on saying things that would normally be political suicide,
right,
and see what happens?" And he's like, "I'm game.
I'm game." Do you think he secretly thought he would be out of this long before now?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I think
he's
that,
literally just trying to see how far he can take it.
Yeah, like he may just take it all the way to the goddamn White House.
And so that brings me to my first question of the day. I don't think I've asked you a question yet. I invited comment, but I didn't. It didn't.
You might have asked me a question before we started recording.
Okay, so my first question of the
show. And yes, I did take a shit today. just so the audience isn't completely in the dark.
Was it a dark shit? I mean, was it like?
No, actually, we had beets the other day, and I thought I had bloody shit, but it was just beets.
Okay, just beets, just beets.
I realized
not Beats by Dre.
Beets. I realized that I hated a lot of vegetables growing up because we ate canned whatever.
Oh yeah, canned can be not
and
so
like certain things canned aren't bad, like green beans or
corn isn't bad.
Corn or you remember wax beans?
I remember them. I don't know if I ever had them.
Yeah, it was they were sort of like green beans.
Yeah,
but yeah, those were all right in a can, and so I didn't dislike those. But like I don't know, like any sort of other canned vegetables, especially canned spinach.
I don't know what Popeye ever saw in that shit.
Yeah, why didn't he just eat fresh spinach? Like it's not like was he crying poor?
Maybe Popeye was actually a commentary on the world we were heading into, where there'd be so many chemicals pumped into this shit that the only way Popeye could get his super strength was by swallowing the spinach that was pumped full of preservatives or whatever the fuck is in canned spinach. Like he wouldn't get the same. He wouldn't get the same power from fresh leaf spinach. He just ate right off the leaf.
The vine.
The vine.
Yeah, they grow. Spinach grows on a vine like grapes.
Okay, so I haven't even gotten to my.
Wait, hold on. Let me just backtrack. I just don't want to spread misinformation.
Okay.
Spinach does not grow on a vine.
Okay, very important, because people do rely on us for
where spinach grows,
for our truthiness. Before I get to my real question, you bringing up the fact that you did take a shit today invites this question, which is, how was it a one wiper, a two wiper, more than that?
It's always more than that. That's why I always take a shower afterwards.
Okay,
because I wipe to the point where like it's not that bad, and then I'm like, okay, done, and then I kind of just
every time you take a shit, shower right afterwards.
I try to. I mean, like if I take a shit outside of the home, then no, obviously.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever heard you like knock from my parents' bathroom door and say, "Hey, do you guys mind if I take a shower right now?" Like, you don't do that.
I mean, if I was, I don't know. I would think about asking.
You might depending on the nature of the shit.
Yeah, I mean, if it was very solid, and then if be like when I have one that's a one wiper, like it's like I should have a celebration.
It's a miracle. It's like a shit sent from God.
I should mark it on the calendar and then take the
with
next
the shit.
What? No, I probably do with being on the phone and the toilet.
Oh God. You imagine how much fecal matter is actually on your phone's screen right now.
Well, Chris, I don't know if you remember, but fecal matters.
So my question
What?
is, so Donald Trump,
The
Donald might take this all the way to the White House, and if he does, what country are you moving to? Because I'm fucking out of here.
I've already asked a couple of friends that are Canadians.
Yeah. And you think they'll take you in?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think both of us do. They'll take both of us in.
Okay, because I'm gonna get my wife and my kids, and if Donald wins, like November 4th, November 5th, when the hell is the election? I don't know.
He's not sworn in until January.
Well, you better get started right away. I mean, unless you're hoping for an assassination. No.
I'm not going to hope for someone to murder him as much as I dislike him.
No, I just would hope the hell that I'd find some way to get out of the country before he would be in charge of it. I don't know, Denmark?
They make Legos there. Get
Lego
a job,
toys and blocks.
Get a job at the Lego company.
All right, I could do that. Like start at like the Lego store and try to work my way up so that I can say, hey, can you guys transfer me over to Denmark?
Yeah. Well, this one, the Lego store in Burlington, getting local for you. You go get a job there.
Yeah.
Work there part time, and find just say, hey. Could you transfer me to the Copenhagen store?
Yeah.
Because I need to be there, and I need to bring my wife and children there as well.
Yeah, we want to get closer to our roots. My mom's side of the family, originally from Sweden. We'd be just across the whatever Lake Sea thing there is there.
Ocean, part of the ocean.
Yeah.
Channel.
It's not the North Sea. No, North Sea is where the hell is the North Sea?
I don't know.
Anyway.
I don't know shit about the Atlas.
If I go to Denmark, and I guess I know the answer to the question if I renounce my citizenship. But if I go to Denmark and I decide to live there, will I be? And then 20 years from now, I'm like, you know what? I want to go back and run for president. It's been 20 years of Donald Trump after he eliminated term limits. Maybe I'll go give it a try now that the Donald is dead. I wouldn't be in trouble. I wouldn't be Ted Cruz if I moved to Denmark. But if I renounce my citizenship, I might be in trouble.
Well, yeah, if you renounce your citizenship,
yeah.
If you keep your American citizenship,
right,
you'll be fine. But because you were born here,
right. But if I renounce it, okay, so I'm no longer a citizen. But then I decide to go through the whole process of becoming a citizen again.
I think
I'd be okay.
That's murky waters, I guess, because I don't know if anyone's ever done that.
Yeah. I don't know. I suspect a lot of people are.
I mean, we have a president that was born in Kenya, and not Hawaii. Apparently,
not Hawaii. No.
Show me the birth certificate.
I really don't understand. I mean, I understand it. It's South Carolina. Nothing against South Carolinians except everything against South Carolinians. So I just that's who they're picking. I mean, who's going to stop him? Rubio? That's it. Jeb dropped out of the race.
He did. He's out. Wow.
Jeb is out. I think Ben Carson is still in.
Yeah.
Ben Carson.
I think he fell asleep on the
5th, 6th, 7th. I don't know where Ben Carson came in.
I think he just fell asleep on the pulpit, and then he's just hanging out because he looks like he's every time he's on television, he looks like he's ready for a nap.
Yeah, Jeb's out.
This is what I would look like if I was on television.
Jeb got out after finishing 4th, but Ben Carson is still in after finishing at least 5th or beyond. I don't know how many of them are still in it.
I can't believe that.
And Ted Cruz, this week I read, or just this morning I read that some court on some level in the Midwest is deciding to hear a case about whether or not Ted Cruz is actually eligible for the presidency. So, that's going to be...
I mean, it's written in is it the Constitution about the presidency?
Yes.
Okay, so, what's his butt? Scalia probably would have said no because he was very much a constitutional absolutionist.
In fact, this same article talked about whether Ted Cruz himself, the legal scholar, who is what they call an originalist, who believes that we should be looking at the Constitution based on what is there in the text, not how the text might be interpreted today, he himself would probably rule against his candidacy. That was what the articles was making the case.
You're making my point.
You're making my point. So that leaves Rubio. Is Rubio gonna overtake Trump?
No, I don't think so. This guy's a freaking steamroller. He's going to be like, you know what? I know who I also hate? The Irish. And then everybody be like, me too.
He's coming after everybody. It's just...
But we don't want the Irish.
It's absolutely absurd. And yet, you can kind of see where it's coming from. Is people are disenfranchised. It's why Bernie is doing as well as he's doing in the places where he's doing well, is because people are disenfranchised. And people are disenfranchised on both sides. And I just think...
But the thing is, aside from the nomination of Supreme Court justices, which has now become a thing, now become something that's going to happen, hopefully, within the Obama presidency and not,
whoever comes next.
Which would probably...
The Trump presidency.
Well, who would he even nominate?
I swear to fucking God.
Not Penn Jillette, because he's at war with him.
Oh, my God. I'm just going to say, I have been taking Trump seriously from the beginning. I've said it on Twitter. I've said it other places. And meanwhile, everyone back then was telling me there's no way Trump is going to win.
I was one of those people, but then very quickly realized that this is a thing that could possibly happen.
Yeah, and it's... I just don't know. Which brings us to the other side, right? And the other side is equally confusing for me because I feel like, at points during the process, especially when there were still three people technically in the Democratic race before what's his name got out.
Was it Marty Walsh?
I don't think it was Marty Walsh. It was.
Isn't he the mayor?
Is this Marty McFly?
McFly.
No, Meehan. Marty something.
Meehan?
No.
These are all Massachusetts guys.
Back about a week ago, or however long ago, there was this sense, maybe a month ago now at this point, there was this sense that whoever won the Democratic nomination, we were all going to get behind that person. There was an element of cooperation. And now I feel like, especially as the primaries, the caucuses have started happening, that kind of compromise is out the window and people are just standing very much behind their candidate. And I get the sense that if Hillary continues to rack up wins and Hillary wins the nomination, you're going to have a lot of people, the disenfranchised people on the left are just going to stay home. And all the disenfranchised people on the right are going to power Trump to the victory.
Well, okay, so we just have to, all the dozens of people that listen to the podcast, we got to convince them to get behind whoever is the nominee.
I hope that's what will happen.
Of your party. I mean, you could be not lefty, bleeding heart assholes like us,
right?
And you love Trump or whatever. I don't know.
I guess
you might need to go get your head checked. But
I would.
Most of America apparently needs to get their head checked.
I would get your head checked just because. Why are you still listening to the show?
Yeah. Why do you hate yourself so much
that you're listening to us bash on Trump? I mean, do yourself some.
Or you could write us an email and say, "Well, I think Trump's great because of X, Y, and Z," and then we'll
because I would also like to shoot Muslims with bullets, coated.
At least there wasn't poison bullets.
But isn't the idea of shooting them with bullets coated in pig's blood is that they're going to go to hell, right? Because they've been shot and they are now, the bullets were coated in something that they're not supposed to imbibe or have near their body, and they haven't had a chance to do whatever they would need to do to cleanse themselves, so they're going to hell.
Oh no.
That's the gist of how I understand it. That's why I think Trump thinks it's, or why whoever invented that story thinks it's a good idea, and now Trump is suggesting it's a good idea. The Pope doesn't like him.
Well, I agree with the Pope.
The Pope. There's a great
This Pope, I'm not Catholic and I'm not religious really, but
as popes go,
I like the rhetoric, or most of the rhetoric that he says.
Yeah.
And so, he is like legitimately apologetic for the abuse stuff,
right. Yeah.
and
he certainly says more things that are right in my mind than things that are wrong.
If there was more religious icons like him in the world,
yeah,
I would have. Well, I don't have extreme...
Less problem with religion?
I would have, I mean, you probably might have less problem with religion. I'm sort of indifferent about it.
Yeah.
But I think even, like, curmudgeons like you, religious curmudgeons like you...
I am not
religion curmudgeon.
I am not half the asshole that most atheists are.
I know. But, like, because I'm more agnostic, you're more atheist,
Yeah.
Two sides of the same coin. Only one of them just is relishing that there might be something.
Yeah. It's interesting to think about the ways in which, just based on who you are and where the news is coming from, the same political result can mean two different things. So, the Hillary people, including NBC, it seems, because I watched this bit of Chuck Todd, their moderator of Meet the Press.
I'd like to chuck Todd out the window. His fucking nonsense.
Chuck Todd made it sound as if Hillary is pretty damn close on some news report that I saw last night. Whereas I got an email from the Bernie Sanders campaign around the same time that news report was happening, that was all about how Nevada, despite the fact that Sanders lost in Nevada, was a huge victory because they were down by 20-something points, and they only finished by 3 or 4. Down by 3 or 4.
Feel the burn, buddy.
Feel the burn. I don't know. You know who does not feel the burn? Let me see if I can find a relevant paragraph of this.
Hillary?
No. Well, Hillary, that's for sure. Joe Hill, this author, and I was about to say daughter, the author and son of Stephen King.
The author and daughter and son of Stephen King.
The author and daughter and son of Stephen King.
He's transgender, and no one should ever consider that to be weird.
I just want to read. Let me see if I can read.
Let that one sneak by you.
How much was Chris listening? I'll hear it when I'm editing the show, and I'll say, I was holding up my phone. I was getting ready to read something, and you slip one in there that I feel like a dummy.
That's fine.
All right, so I'm going to read a couple paragraphs from this article by Joe Hill, because you feel the burn, right?
Yeah, I mean, Super Tuesday's coming up, I think, in 2 weeks.
Yeah, just about
beginning of March is the first Tuesday in March, right?
So it's like a week, isn't it? If it's the first Tuesday in March, it's a week from this Tuesday. Really?
Wow.
Yeah,
that's
pretty
crazy.
Close. All right, so here's Joe Hill in an article called "Not Over the Hill." He says, about the election, I'll only say it bums me out to see that once again a wildly overqualified woman, a person probably more capable of stepping into the White House than anyone to seek the presidency in my lifetime, is in danger of losing the gig to a much less well-informed, much less accomplished man. What could be more American than that?
Well, here's I mean, I understand his rhetoric, but the thing that the disenfranchised folks are being like, well, Hillary took, X amount of dollars from Goldman Sachs or X amount of dollars from this to speak or would do whatever. Yeah. And so, like, the people that are like me that see something like that, they say, well, if she's going to take X amount of money from this company that, has sort of manipulated our government, like as far as like causing the fucking financial crisis, and has basically got off scot-free and not didn't get arrested or even fucking like charged with anything for basically putting a dick in the ass of almost every American. Literally, not figuratively. So when you hear things like that, you're like, oh, I prefer this man that is like got crazy hair and cares about me as a person, not as about a fucking corporation or a bunch of fucking bankers.
All right. Do you see the photo that emerged of Bernie this week? It was from the 60s, I want to say, and it was of Bernie being at a protest, being dragged away by a couple of cops, which I would imagine is going to only bolster fan support for him, while eventually, if he were to win the nomination, be used relentlessly.
Be like, look at this guy. He doesn't give a
attack at.
He's fighting for what he believes in. Whatever these cops don't like it, but he believes in this shit. And
whereas the Republican story would be, look at this man causing trouble for our hardworking police. As far back as whatever. All right, let me read one, maybe two more paragraphs, depending on how angry the next paragraph gets you. All right, so this is again Joe Hill. Bernie promises what
Jonah Hill?
Joe Hill. Joe Hill.
Like, I just draw dicks all day. And I couldn't even eat dick-shaped stuff like popsicles or hot dogs. That was from Superbad.
I know.
I know, but I was just telling the audience just in case they're dumb.
Bernie promises what can't be delivered, and folks love it. Hillary says we can make things incrementally better, but it will be hard. There will be setbacks every step of the way, and we will have to be ready to dig in for the long slog. No one wants to hear that shit. It isn't even a little sexy. Hillary's great mistake is thinking realism is a good platform for a political campaign. Maybe she's also guilty of underestimating how deeply public opinion has been poisoned after 25 years of relentless right-wing shit-slinging. It's quite something to read people I admire who have gone for Bernie and who are now ripping Hillary in language that sounds like it came out of Karl Rove's playbook.
Did I just sound like Karl Rove just now? Talking about how I think that Wall Street criminals should be prosecuted?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I don't think Karl Rove would even imagine that thought.
At any rate, so skipping right down to the bottom. He says, "Do I hate Bernie? Do I dislike Bernie? Hell no. Glad he's around." No, Bernie has tapped into a widespread contempt for a system that was outrageously abused to enrich the Wall Street few at the expense of the mainstream many. And that contempt is entirely valid. It's just his plan for doing something about it, which basically amounts to a magic word, not abracadabra, but revolution, that fails to move me. So that's Joe.
I mean, that's the only way we can change shit. I mean, we don't want to have a revolution like we did in the Revolutionary War, where people are fighting and die. Well, yeah, like that either.
Yeah.
But we need to have something happen, so that the freaking elite can stop basically putting the average folk. I mean, and folks are working paycheck to paycheck. They're not.
You don't have to tell me.
Okay, I'm just saying, take people out of being indentured servants, basically, and let them, enjoy life. Let's have more people enjoy life, and if more people enjoy life, there'll be less miserable fucks around, and then
I don't know about that. I think South Carolina would have something to say about that. I think the trouble is that a lot of the right seems to thrive on other people's misery. They love the idea that gay people can't get married because they think gay people are sinners, right? They want Muslims to die because they feel like they don't know the true meaning of
so they're
of
basically
Jesus.
the exact same as extreme as Muslims. They're being the exact same.
They don't recognize that about themselves, but
I want if you basically say I want to kill Muslims as a Christian person, and neither of us are, so we're talking from outside here.
If I said I wanted to kill Muslims, that would be okay. Is that what you're saying?
I guess so, because you don't.
No, I don't think so.
Yes. Well,
All right.
just
But
think about it.
specifically,
I think it's okay
say,
if you want to kill anybody, Chris.
because I'm not going. I'm just gonna be.
Although it'd be kind of shitty for the podcast because you probably get arrested.
I'd probably get arrested. Probably get shot. Well, I wouldn't get shot. I'd get a nice, good old trial because I'm white.
Oh. Well, don't go in blackface though. Okay. Because that everyone will get really mad. No one will be on your side.
I don't know about that. South Carolina might.
What if you do blackface?
If I do blackface and I
then,
shoot up a bunch of people,
but,
especially if they're Muslims.
But okay, so if you do blackface, then
I think they would find that funny.
No, they wouldn't.
South Carolinians?
Really?
They just voted for fucking Donald Trump.
Yeah. Never mind. I just take back my last comment.
What, about me killing people?
No, about the blackface.
About the blackface. Somewhere in there was something I wanted to comment on, but I don't remember what it was. Yeah, what I fear, going back a little bit, is that we're headed for civil war, no matter or revolution, no matter what we do. Because I see the divide. Maybe it's just because I see the divide between myself and the rest of my extended family.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean, I don't understand why we can't have two countries. Like, why don't we just have the right wing crazy people? They live in their own country. They have shitloads of guns and they just kill each other or do whatever.
That the problem now is that the right wing crazy people live around the corner from the left wing crazy people. Like that we all live pretty close to each other. And how would you divide up where we would all go?
Well, I think it should be if your state's a blue state, then it stays a blue state.
Okay.
If it's a red state, it stays a red state.
Okay.
So like New Hampshire's gonna have to make up its fucking mind.
That would be
if it's
nice.
gonna like come along with the rest of New England.
Yeah.
And fucking
Maine Maine and New Hampshire might be able to go off. Maine and their fucking asshole governor. They might be able to go off
because we might be able to get the whole Northeast, which would be perfect. Because this area it's still cold sometimes in the winter. Not
this one.
Not today.
Yeah.
It's 5 degrees outside and it's February what? Like the 22nd?
February 22nd.
What the fuck?
I don't know.
I'm sorry. Like I'm more than alarmed.
Or 21st? Is it the 21st? 21st. Tomorrow when this comes out it'll be the 22nd.
Okay. So February 21st, it's 50 something degrees outside.
Yeah.
In greater Boston.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck is wrong?
I don't know.
We woke up this morning. We were actually hot.
You were
it was
hot.
hot in here.
In February.
We have yet to turn on the heat here.
Really? You
Because
get enough from the other apartments around you?
We're on the 4th floor, and so we get some from the hallway. We of course get all the rising heat from the floors below.
Right.
We have never turned on the heat in here.
Interesting.
The fucking summer, all the money we're saving now
It's all gonna go
putting
it away.
flush down the toilet for when we're running the air conditioner. Which is
constant.
luckily central air.
Yeah, I was gonna say you don't have a looking around. We
did put the fireplace on a couple of times.
Okay.
While we were watching TV.
Yeah, but fireplace is nice ambiance, even if you don't need it.
Yeah. We have the old adage, like, what are you gonna heat up the room so you can heat up that drawer full of blankets? The old adage.
I did not know that was an old adage, Grandpa Steve.
Yes, people used to say that all the time.
All the time. Back when they used to walk uphill to the school both ways.
Both ways?
Both ways.
Yeah, it's impossible.
That's not what my...
Through 10 feet of snow!
All right, Grandpa. I think you're lying, Grandpa.
But yeah, this is more than alarming. Like...
I'm worried about revolution. You're worried about global warming.
I am a little bit, like, because
which isn't a thing. I don't know if
maybe we all need to just move to Canada anyways.
We're all gonna.
I think it's probably 10 degrees cooler, like up there. Like the last time I was up there in the summertime, it was only the low 80s in August, or it was
It's
was
not
August
bad. What happens when the polar ice caps melt, though? Like
Well,
what happens to Canada?
It's going to be Waterworld. We're going to be peeing in a jar and like
We
on
have
our
to deal
little
with fucking
raft.
Kevin Costner.
Yeah. No, hopefully he'll be dead by then.
Kevin Costner or Matthew McConaughey, which is worse?
I think I'm gonna have to go with Costner because McConaughey's been in films that I've enjoyed.
Yeah, I saw Amistad yesterday, and he was not bad in that. I was actually
McConaughey was in that.
McConaughey is in that. Yeah, it's
I have
actually
not seen the movie.
That's a damn good film. Like, it's dark, but it's a damn good film, and it does the. You know, the end credits thing where like they tell you what happened to the people afterwards. You saw Deadpool. That happens in Deadpool, doesn't it? No, kinda. Okay, no, it doesn't do like a Breakfast Club type thing. Anyway, my point being, like,
I did say a John Hughes thing, but I'm not telling you which one.
All right. So like the Breakfast Club. Does it happen in the Breakfast Club? No.
No, he just puts his arm up.
He puts his arm up. Which fucking movie am I thinking of?
I did that while we were at the Friendly Toast in Portsmouth last week, and people just looked at me weird. Because like there was like
you
they
put
had,
your
like,
fist up. Were they?
I went like this. I didn't go like.
You didn't go like a Black Panther, like you were Beyonce and
up and up like this.
Okay, no,
you can't really tell how I'm doing it on the podcast. Should get a picture online.
Get a picture,
or just make the picture.
Judd Nelson.
Yeah,
whatever. Like so you can get those end of the movie things where they tell you what happened to the characters afterwards. The other movie I watched this week was Can't Hardly Wait, and they do that where they tell you what happened to the characters.
Senator Blutarski.
Animal House. Thank you. That's the okay. So you can do that and it can be amusing, or you can do that and it can kind of ruin a movie. So at the end of Amistad, they tell you...
Did it ruin the movie?
They tell you what happens to Sin-Kei, who's the main character afterwards. Which
is it based on true events?
Based on true events. Okay. Yeah. It's based
just like Animal House.
Just like Animal House. But it tells you what happens to Sin-Kei, and like while I like knowing what happened to him, I kind of wish that I had found out what happened to him when the credits were done and I went to Wikipedia and I found out what happened to him. Although I get why Spielberg does it. It's a Spielberg film. I get why they put it in there. It kind of... the whole movie it takes place in 1839, I think.
1839.
So it is one of the sparks that ignites the conflict that turns into the Civil War. And so, spoilers, Sin-Kei returns to Africa, returns to Sierra Leone, or what is now known as Sierra Leone, and finds his own tribe in the middle of civil war. And and that's kind of why they tell you that, but it's such a triumphant moment to watch Sin-Kei there on the ship, and you do see him shed a tear at pretty much the same moment that they put that thing up on the bottom to tell you what happened to him. But I feel like just ending on him with the tear and not telling us what happened to him afterwards, not that that's a happy ending, because how do you get a happy ending out of being wrongfully imprisoned for as long as he was?
You go down to the Yankee Cranky shop.
What?
That's how you would get a happy ending.
You know this from experience?
No, I've never gotten a
happy ending.
No, I've never gotten a happy. I have gotten massages, but I've never gotten a happy ending.
Never gotten a happy ending.
Yankee Cranky shop.
Title.
No, that's
no.
That's racist. What I say.
Yankee Cranky. Oh,
don't put it as the title. Don't put a racist thing as the title.
I see. This is how clueless I am. I didn't even get the racist part of it.
It is. It's definitely racist.
All right. I'm sorry. I did not get it.
That's one of those like.
It's like Randall
those
in Clerks too.
Old school. Yeah.
It doesn't understand that Randall in Clerks 2, if you're not familiar, claims that he's going to take back the word porch monkey.
Yeah. Which is not a good idea.
He's not a word to use or to try and take back.
Yes. Look it up, kids. All the kids listening that stumble on our podcast.
I don't know. Are we heading for I don't need no civil war? Did you say you used that last week?
Yeah, we did because you talked. Well, I don't know.
I don't forget how that came up.
We were talking about Captain America Civil War.
Oh, that's right.
Not an actual Civil War.
Not an actual Civil War. Although that movie is pretty well timed. I just guess like that movie is coming out in May. I mean the nominations might be pretty well decided by then. In fact,
for the Academy? They're going to be like Captain America: Civil War.
The nominations for the
Best
presidency.
Picture.
The nominations for the presidency.
Oh,
and
I
I
thought you
feel
meant
like the country will be pretty well divided, and that movie will be out at that time.
Our country's been divided since its inception, and
yes.
that is a shitty movie.
I like that movie.
I don't know. It's like your favorite movie, Inception, Morty. Whatever the fuck your name is. Morty.
Morty.
Named after an old Jewish comedian.
All right. I was trying to think of some clever way to transition to the next thing on our list, but it wasn't happening.
Just use your ham hand.
My ham hand, right here. You can't see it. It's my ham hand. It was just picking up my Down East Cider House cider.
Cider House cider.
Cider House cider. Yeah.
Does it say that on there?
No, but like Down East Cider House, original blend. I shouldn't have said it. New England's craft cider, Down East Cider House, original blend, crafted in Boston. Freshly pressed apples, locally grown, gluten-free, not from concentrate.
Can you stop reading the goddamn label of the can?
This episode of Horribly Off Topic is presented by Down East Cider House.
They give no shits about us or any. They don't want to spend any money on us.
I didn't say it was endorsed by or sponsored. I said it was presented by.
Oh, okay.
Which it is, because I'm drinking it and I am presenting to use the British term for host. I'm a presenter if we were British.
We were talking. Becky and I were talking recently about so if you put the word natural on some sort of food that you get, and so almost everything that you buy could have the word natural on it, because there could be one thing that's natural.
One thing.
So like this brought me back to back in I think sophomore or junior year of high school. Paul and I were in a marketing class.
Oh.
Or it might have been senior year.
Senior year, marketing class.
Marketing class. And we had to come up with a product or something like that. So we came up with a cereal, and it was called Coffee Crunchies or something like that. And we had this, like, this cartoon kid putting a big old spoon of the cereal into his mouth, and he was happy and whatever. And then on the label it said, over 27 vitamins and ingredients.
And what did your teacher think of that?
I thought it was funny. So
nice.
She actually liked us, even though we did like when we do we would actually want to do something like that because it was just make it so we could do something silly like that.
Right. Yeah.
So we'd be like, yeah, let's do this, and so we'll get together and fucking make this weird like Photoshop.
Yeah.
Well, not Photoshop, but like just this weird drawing of this cereal box.
Right.
And then, but everything else was just like,
yeah.
Just fell asleep. I think that was usually my nap class. I sat in the back because Woodbury.
Right. Woodbury. It was all on assigned seating based on alphabet?
Usually, yes. And I usually would remain, and then sometimes we'd move around. But we ended up sitting next to each other until like we stopped being productive, so she moved all across the room.
And you had to be separated.
Yes, that's happened many times.
Like the North from the South, that just they couldn't.
No, but the North and the South wanted to be separated. We were separated because
you gotta keep them separated.
Kids, all you kids out there, make sure you do all your crimes, your minor league crimes, when you're under 18, so you won't do any time. Hey.
Don't sign recording contracts when you're under 18.
Oh, jeez. Is that what Kesha did?
I don't know if that's when she did. Well, she signed a recording contract when she was pretty young, and it had let's see, 17. Yeah. She's 28 now. She moved from Nashville to Los Angeles when she was 17 to record with Dr. Luke, who runs Kimosabi Records.
Is he an actual doctor?
He is not an actual doctor.
I'm not a real doctor, but they call me Dr. Luke.
He says, I'm reading from a Washington Post article that I got up here in anticipation of us talking about Kesha.
Just so you get the facts right, and I don't just like spew nonsense, which I often do.
Is that Dr. Luke MD? And the answer is no. Dr. Luke's real name is Lukas Gottwald, and he spent a decade as the lead guitarist for Saturday Night Live before moving into music production. Since making the switch, he's banged... That's such a poor choice of words. He's banged banged out a stream of hits, including Kelly Clarkson's Since You've Been Gone, Katy Perry's I Kissed a Girl, Miley Cyrus's Party in the USA, and Pink's Who Knew. Although Dr. Luke has admitted to being a marijuana dealer in the past, he says the nickname was bestowed on him by rapper Mos Def during a studio recording session and has nothing to do with dispensing drugs.
Wow, that's cool.
So he's not Dr. Luke. Are you familiar with what's going on with Kesha?
You spoke of it earlier, but if you want to bring the audience up to speed, so I don't get it wrong.
I'm reading from this Washington Post article, which I'll throw in the show notes. So what's this case all about? In October 2014, Kesha filed suit against Dr. Luke, accusing him of drugging and raping her and emotionally abusing her in a manner that ultimately led her to an eating disorder. The suit asked that she be released from her contract to Kemosabe. Dr. Luke quickly filed his own countersuit, claiming that the abuse allegations were fabricated in an attempt to get out of the contract.
Okay, so it was a civil suit that she filed?
Let me see if I can get this.
Because I don't know, if someone had like drugged and maybe perhaps sexually assaulted me, I want to bring up criminal charges against them, not like.
I wonder if let's see. This is from an article that was linked off of the main one. Dr. Luke repeatedly threatened that if she ever told anyone about these abusive incidents, he would destroy both Miss Siebert and her entire family.
This guy from Saturday Night Live said that?
Yes.
Oh, look out! I'm going to destroy your whole family. Was that Don Pardo?
I don't think that's what. At any rate, so like the reason this is all in the news.
Horatio Sands.
Let's see. All right, so there's a little bit more background. Although I kind of just want to hear you keep doing Saturday Night Live impressions. So in January 2014, Kesha checked into a treatment center, revealing that she had bulimia. By that time, there was already buzz that Kesha was feeling creatively stifled by Dr. Luke during the production of her second album. Later that year, she filed a lawsuit claiming she suffered almost a decade of abuse at the hands of Dr. Luke. Kesha's mother, I don't know how you pronounce this, Pebe Siebert, has publicly said that.
So did she actually give her the name Kesha with the $sign?
Not with a $sign, but she gave her name Kesha. Has publicly said that Dr. Luke contributed to her daughter's illness by telling her to lose weight and comparing her body to a refrigerator. And here's what happened.
William Refrigerator Perry or just a regular refrigerator?
It's not clear. Okay. Which would be worse?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think they'd both be pretty bad.
The fridge, I mean, he fucking trounced the Patriots back in 85.
Back in 85. Or 80, was it 86? It was the 85 season.
The 86 Super Bowl, maybe? I don't know.
So this is what happened
on Friday.
We got our
asses kicked.
New York...
Sherry O'Terry!
New York Supreme Court Justice Shirley Kornreich denied Kesha's request for a preliminary injunction in the case, which would have allowed the singer to record songs outside of her contract until the case is finalized. So basically what's happened is because of this, she hasn't been able to put out an album in, 2 years? Now, yeah, like 2 years. Because she's contractually obligated to put out all of her albums through what's his ass and Sony. So she can't put out any new music at all unless she works with him. And of course, music is her job.
Well, why doesn't she just like show up with like a bodyguard, make some shitty songs that she doesn't have any sort of vested interest in, and then like just sync Sony like herself?
She's contractually obligated for 6 albums.
Yeah, do that 6 times. Like the New Sweethearts made 3 shitty albums. I think she can make 6.
Well,
how many has she already made?
No, she has 6 more.
6 more
beyond what she's already made.
What the fuck?
So this is what like young girl moves out to Hollywood, signs a huge recording contract, maybe with the good faith that she's not going to get treated like this, and now she did get treated like this, and now she's stuck.
Churn out 6 shitty albums, then maybe they should have let her out of the contract.
Well, so it's not totally dead yet. So the article goes on. It says. That Kesha's request was granted doesn't mean her case is dead, but it does mean she has a long road ahead of her. The judge said Kesha's filing would require the court to, quote, decimate a contract that was heavily negotiated and typical for the industry. Dr. Luke and Sony have said Kesha is free to work with another producer on upcoming albums to fulfill her contract with the label, but that's an offer Kesha has refused. My instinct is to do the commercially reasonable thing, Judge Kornreich said.
Well, yeah, I mean, if they're saying, if Sony's saying you can use a different producer, what the hell's the issue?
That she was raped by this guy?
I understand that, but that is a criminal matter and not a matter of contracts with a production company.
Okay. I'm tempted to read more here, but I don't know that it's going to sway you. So she's free to work with another producer, but she is still under his management, right? So that's part of it. So she has to record 6 albums under the management of a man whom you clearly loathe and who you say abused you.
But the thing is, like, okay, so I mean, if somebody is not, if like in the court of public opinion, I mean, people can get thrown out of the bus all the time.
Right.
This person was never convicted of this crime.
Okay.
Correct?
Correct.
So, therefore, in the eyes of the law, he did not commit it.
So you don't believe her.
It's not that I don't believe her.
Okay.
But if in the eyes of the law, if there was a criminal trial and he was found not guilty, then therefore, I mean, it sucks, but
so we're not. I see where you're coming from. I think the argument that everyone else would make is that we should give the benefit of the doubt to the person who's been raped, as opposed to the benefit of the doubt to the person who has done the rape, has committed the crime.
But again, if we don't know if the crime, you and I
Right.
are not there. We're not in the
Absolutely.
room, so we don't know. We're I don't know.
I get it. I don't know what Sony is hoping to gain out of this.
Like what they should do is just fire the guy and.
Well, they're not going to fire the guy because he obviously produces hit song. He knows something. Like I rattled off that list of songs, which were all #1 songs for a very long time. He obviously knows how to make great music. They're not going to fire him. But why are they insistent that she stay under contract with them? Like, are they going to make that much? She is a very popular singer. But are they going to make that much money out of it that it's worth this amount of humiliation of their company and their brand, that they're going to get their name dragged through the mud? Sony already had, the big fucking email hack or server hack like a year or so ago. Like
The fucking PlayStation Network gets hacked every other fucking week.
Sony is fucking like not doing well. Why are they so insistent?
I agree with you there.
Yeah.
They should. I don't know. They should just let her work on it. Well, she should just bite the bullet, work with another producer, release 6 shit albums,
Okay.
and just say whatever, and then get out of the business for fuck's sake.
Right. Well, let me read you this.
Work a regular job if you don't want to do the music business anymore. If it reminds you of something terrifying or like horrific in your past.
I think this is from This is not from the Washington Post, but I think this makes a good point, and I'll try to link to it. It's pretty sad when you consider that Zayn from One Direction got to leave his contract because he was unhappy, and Chris Brown beat his girlfriend and his career didn't suffer at all. This one was verbally abused to the point where she had to enter rehab for an eating disorder. She was drugged and raped, and yet she still is confined to her contract to work with her abuser. Rehab is expensive. Lawsuits are expensive. We've seen the photos of her sobbing in the courtroom. Does that really look like the face of a liar? It's 2016 and the world cares more about men making money than a woman and her career and, her safety. I think the point about Zayn from One Direction, another very, very popular band, Zayn getting let out of his contract because he was unhappy is a valid one. So they're willing to let some young dude from a popular band out of his contract because he's unhappy, and because he's unhappy. She is claiming to have been raped, but they're not going to let her out of her contract.
I don't know what to say because if you think it's just a patriarchy thing, then
yeah,
well, I don't know. Like I'm not in that world,
Right.
but I don't know. I mean, I think they should let her out of the contract. I think, but if they won't, she's got to find a way.
Right. And like I said, the case is not over yet. It's just some of the stuff that's come out is really absolutely disturbing. I'll throw one other thing in the show. Apparently, at some point, he tweeted.
So I just want to make it clear: don't mistake my dissent or
Right,
what
no.
I'm saying as I agree with what they're saying. I'm just saying legally
speaking, yeah, they do have.
they are within their rights.
Yeah. Back in 2009, October 13th of 2009, he actually, Dr. Luke, tweeted a photo along with the caption, "Damn, my artists work hard," of it looking like, of a picture of Kesha looking like she was passed out. This it would seem, and that tweet has since been deleted, but it would seem that this lines up roughly with when she claims he was drugging and raping her. And of course, that's that tweet is gone. It's just there's a lot of smoke for this particular fire, and I just think it's kind of heinous that she's being forced to. I do see where you're coming from, like the legal side of it. She signed a contract.
Sony should let her out of the contract, and she should just be able to do whatever the fuck she wants.
I mean,
I don't want a corporation to be able to have that much power over somebody ever.
Right. But but your point, I think, is if she signed the contract, it's the contract.
Yeah, I mean, is there a way out of the contract? I mean, that's something you have to think about as an individual. And I don't know how old she was when she signed it.
Sounds like she was like 17.
Okay, well then maybe she has some rights there because she wasn't an adult when she signed the contract.
Yeah, and I'm sure people are working hard on it. I would imagine, but obviously Sony has a lot more money at their disposal than she does because she hasn't been able to put out an album in a couple of years.
But yeah, I mean, but if she's a minor, if you at 17 can't smoke a cigarette or take a drink of alcohol, but you can sign your life away, that's bullshit.
Yeah, for 8 albums. I think she's done 2 full-length albums at this point, so I imagine the contract was for 8. If she did 2 and there are 6 remaining. And it must have seemed amazing back when she signed that contract to have the opportunity to record for Sony, the biggest, if not one of the biggest,
one of the
labels.
Only ones left.
Well, yeah, there's only a few of them.
Because the music industry's garbage, because it got destroyed by Napster, and now the movie industry's garbage because it got destroyed by people pirating films.
Yeah, well,
But so that's what bums me out about things like that, because the movie industry used to have a sort of now there's just micro budgets of a movie that is making $100,000 or that they use $100,000 to make the movie, which is a hell of a lot of money, but in the grand scheme of things,
not for a movie that's going to be released wide across America.
Yeah. So and then there's the fucking Deadpools or Captain Americas or whatever else that are just ultra high budget. Well, actually, I don't think Deadpool was ultra high budget.
No, but I imagine
in the grand scheme of things. But there was that middle ground of movies that used to get made, and now those movies don't exist anymore.
Right.
It's either something that they're pouring a shit ton of money in, or people are maybe getting money on the back end.
It's the same thing in all of the sort of entertainment or narrative interest, like books, movies, TV.
Are people pirating books?
Yeah. I mean, there was a period there where there was.
I don't read much, as by the way I speak.
Well, not just pirating books, but there was a rise there for a little while, and this has turned out to not be a great model of all you can eat, sort of like Netflix book services. Amazon practically wants to give your books away. The point that I was trying to make there, that's kind of tangential to what I wanted to say, but when you're talking about the big books, that's pretty much all you get anymore, is you get
Harry Potters.
You get huge books with huge marketing budgets, and you might get tiny books with no budget, but there's no there's no middle ground for the vast majority of authors to kind of hope for. Like, you pretty much are going to have to be content being somebody who might sell, if you're lucky, 1,000 copies of your book, or be that like 1 in a million that gets to, you know, be the next fucking Jonathan Franzen or J.K. Rowling.
Franks.
Jonathan Franzen is the closest to a literary fiction rock star that there is.
Well, I guess like that was a dumb comment because people pirate manga all the time.
Yeah.
And it's funny because, you know, the and here it is, when the One Piece show about pirates gets pirated, it's a big deal, and they've actually been cracking down on the folks because like the illegal release for the chapters comes out before it legally comes out. It's like but the thing is, like, it's simultaneously released. We get it here in the States, like, legally the same day they get it in Japan. Right.
It's just that, but in that small time frame that it's out in Japan, because
no,
asleep.
It's no. Okay, so
when does the pirating happen? I guess that's
pirating happens because this is how I understand it, because it's still a print magazine in Japan.
Right.
It gets mailed out to all the places.
Okay, got it.
You know, sell it like in advance so they can have it, you know, on Monday morning or Sunday morning or wherever whenever it gets released.
Yeah.
They have it, and so people can buy it. So somewhere, all it takes is one guy, to say, here, pirating website.
Yep. And that did happen with one of the last couple Harry Potter. I don't know if it was the last one or if it was the second to last one. Like, the whole book was up online before it was even legally available. So somebody at some printing place got a hold of it and scanned the whole thing. And
it would have been better if, like, they said that was what happened and they just did this, like, terrible fan fiction. Like, there's a lot of butt sex in this last volume of Harry Potter.
Who would be having butt sex with who, aside from Dumbledore?
I'm not going to. You can imagine who's having butt sex with whomever.
Oh my goodness!
There's wands all over the place.
All of the entertainment industries are just fucked, and that sucks for us because we're entertainers.
Well, the thing is, here's the thing. Like, it sucks because, like, the people that are, you know, I was getting mad about Sony being a giant corporation that won't let this person that, you know, has some problems, perhaps, just, you know, to not go into crazy detail about it. She's got problems and she wants to not do this anymore. Yeah. At least with them, they should just let her go. But, like, you know, I hate, like, well, I don't want to say I hate giant corporations, but giant corporations can be, like, excessive shitheads. Because, you know, we've declared them people and they can do whatever the fuck they want.
They have the right to be shitheads.
Yeah. Can we
That's why I'm sticking with theater, Steve. That's why I'm sticking with theater.
Yeah, well, you can't pirate theater, right?
You can't pirate theater.
Well, someone could, like, you know, take your play that you wrote and then say...
I shouldn't say I'm sticking with theater because the last 2 years I've pitched plays and they haven't been picked.
No, but before we get to that,
yeah. Sorry, no, I wasn't trying to rush there.
No. Yeah. But the thing is, these companies aren't going to devote the money to make these giant shithead corporations aren't going to devote the money to make things if you guys aren't fucking buying them. And
this is true.
So, like, I understand that there's so many things in this world that that you can pirate, but just fucking stop.
Yeah.
Just buy a movie.
Well,
or don't go to see it. How about that?
I mean, also the subscription services are doing their damage too. And Netflix maybe less so, but like Apple Music, Spotify, all of the Apple Music is paying more than Spotify did, but I still don't think that's a lot. So when I see a thing that I really dig by somebody I really want to keep making music, if I see it on Apple Music and I like it, I'll go out and buy. Even though I have by all rights the right to download it and keep it on my machine because I'm paying $15 a month, I go ahead and I buy the album. So like this artist Lissy came out with an album just the other day, and I listened to it once. I liked it, and I was like, all right, I want Lissy to keep making music, so I'm gonna go buy the damn record.
Yeah, just like if
buy
you,
the stuff that you like.
yeah, buy things that you like and support fucking artists so they can continue. Well, they can support themselves and
Right.
continue to make things that you enjoy. Like there's podcasts out there that you might enjoy. So
Yeah,
just scoot
Wink,
them a couple
wink.
$100 million
It
so
is
they
really,
can have a billboard up everywhere in every city that says "Horribly Off Topic" with Chris and Steve. It's probably better than listening to your cat die.
I was gonna make some serious point about how it's sad that people just expect to be entertained for free, but
Well, we give it to them for free.
We are, well, yes, we entertain for free with the understanding that occasionally people who like us will send us money, and occasionally people
do.
who like us have sent us money,
Which is great, and we appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, it's actually been pretty cool. Or send us email. Like,
Yeah, or just contribute to the fucking show. No. Well, let's not say that's all we want.
No, money would be great. Email is also great.
Maybe one of these greedy ass neck corporations will want to be sponsored.
We'll sign a contract.
Yeah. Or maybe we can be like an at will
Maybe
sort of thing instead of signing a contract.
podcast at will.
Yeah. Well, no. Well, like they could advertise at will, so we could stop saying that we want you guys to go to Blue Apron whenever we want to.
Right. We want you to eat. We want you to drink Down East Cider House, New England.
Like if you don't get your pork chops in your in your box of food that they give you.
Oh, pork chops in your box.
That's gross. All right, go to your plaything.
Yeah, well, we're already past an hour, so I don't want to take too long to talk about it. But yeah, I mean, one of the reasons that it's not one of the reasons that I try to go to theater is because it can't be pirated, but certainly a lot of people,
Because no one would ever want to.
a lot of people take it more seriously because they do have to pay for it. So like they're only going to go to plays that they think they might actually enjoy, and they expect it to be taken seriously. And so therefore, kind of as an artist, you take it seriously. I like theater. I think theater is an underappreciated art in the same way that I think stand-up is something that people can enjoy and should go out and enjoy, and it's best enjoyed live. Like, so anyway, last 2 years I've pitched this really conventional.
That's probably why stand-up in theater or like things that still exist.
Yeah, because
like,
you have to. I mean, you can get a stand-up record, but
record. What year is this?
Sorry, you can get a stand-up download
Album, whatever. I think album is a more appropriate.
Well, album, if we're using the Grammy parlance, I should have said album, because album is the full-length work and record is an individual song from the album.
Okay.
According to the Grammys.
All right, Grammys.
All right, Grammy. All right, Grammy, Steve.
I don't like that.
No, the last 2 years I pitched this play to the Players Ring that was like this really conventional thing, which I like, but I've been thinking about it in addition to just like, this is what I had ready and this is what I wanted to pitch. And I was saying, the first thing I ever did there was part of an evening of robot and steampunk theater, and it was done as a radio drama. The second thing I ever did there was part of an evening of apocalyptic theater, and in the middle of that play, Jesus turned water into wine right on stage. The third thing combined music and theater in a kind of a unique way, late night. And then the next thing was so controversial that people walked out in the middle of the performance.
Did I go to that one?
You did go. I think you went to that one. That
one that people walked out of.
You didn't. You weren't at that particular performance. But,
no, I don't remember that happening. But which one was that?
Temptress. My show Temptress. There were people who walked out in the middle of one of my speeches.
Why?
Because I was making Jesus jokes.
Oh.
Kind of, sort of. Anyway, so like this, I'm giving you kind of like the not quite rehearsed version of the speech I'm going to give tomorrow night or tonight when this comes out. Because I realized all of that, and I'm like, if I'm going to pitch something again, and I'm going to get rejected again, who knows if I'm going to get rejected again, but I want to do something that, in Neil Gaiman's words, is like I'm the only person who could do it. And so I came up with this really weird thing that is a combination of, I hate the fucking mic. I hate that. There's really weird combination of storytelling and scenes, and it's probably too long, and who knows if they're going to like it, but I like it, and it should be interesting.
So do you like do a scene from it? Like
No, well, not so when you pitch it, you get about 2 minutes to kind of give your spiel.
and then you hand them the script.
The thing, and this is the way that I approached it the last couple of years, was that, and partly wrongly, I think, was that the pitch doesn't matter that much because the people who are going to make the decision are the people who are reading the scripts. But, I think the pitch kind of does matter because I think, it's going to stand out in their mind how much passion you have for the project. And so I'm trying to come up with a better pitch this time.
You were a little not humdrum. You were a little bit down on it last year. So maybe some good energy going in there will probably be a little bit better.
Yeah.
For
Well,
you.
I mean, I had been rejected the year before, and it was the first time I'd pitched something. And I've been pretty lucky. The first few times I pitched something, it had been accepted, whether it was part of some larger group or it was my own. And then 2 years in a row of getting rejected, I have been kind of down. But, the thing that I put together, even if they don't accept it, is a good template for the next novel that I'm working on. I have found if I start working on short stories and then I write a whole bunch of shit over the course of a couple of years, and then I try to make it a play, which forces you to condense it into like 2 hours. And then you take it out of the play and you turn it into a book. It ends up you have a really tight book that people might actually want to read if they still read.
I don't.
So
I don't know why I can't talk today. I haven't been drinking.
You haven't been drinking.
I was supposed to, and I'm sure Ryan's going to give me shit. I'm supposed to read Confederacy of Dunces.
Oh.
And I borrowed it from him. And
hot dogs, ladies. my favorite internet personality, Merlin Mann, got his nickname from a Confederacy of Dunces.
So I guess I'm gonna have to read it one of these days.
Yeah, I feel like I should read it one of these days because it's his favorite novel, I think. And obviously Ryan, you said,
yes,
told you should read it. So
yes.
I should.
He listens to the show.
Yeah.
At least I think so.
Yeah, I should.
We have a lot of people that drop off here and there.
Here and there. Yeah, I wonder how many of them are still around after hearing me talk about theater for 5 minutes.
and or Kesha.
Yeah.
All right, let's
wrap it up.
All right. Well, I wish you all the luck in the world, but you know what? You don't need it, man. You got this fucker.
Thanks.
You got this fucker by the balls.
Right by the balls. You can find the show notes for this episode at clarkwoods.com/hot/52. Wait, 82. I was like, wait, we're way past 50.
And I'm like, what? 52 was our not flashback. Yeah, flashback episode.
Yes. Yeah. All right. clarkwoods.com/hot/82. And of course, if you want to send us an email to tell me I'm an idiot for getting the number wrong, or we're idiots for our opinions on Kesha or Donald Trump, you can send that email to...
We just want negative emails. We don't even care if they're good.
Yeah, no, I mean, you can tell us we're brilliant. That would be great, too. The email address is hot@clarkwoods.com.
And you can tweet us at our normal Twitter addresses.
Or
I'm at Tuesday is Loser. That's Tuesday. IS Loser, all one word.
And I'm at ECC1977. You could also tweet Steve at his transponder snail account.
I'm not going to promote the transponder snail one anymore. Well, maybe next week if I'm drunk.
Maybe next week if you're drunk.
Are we going?
We're going. I said something really stupid that I need to cut, and so you won't hear the thing that I said that was stupid that I needed to cut.
I'm eating candy.
You're eating candy.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.